Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm just gonna say yesterday's video, actually, the last couple weeks, videos have been kind of a failure. So found a new way to do them. Hopefully, this works a lot better. I have an impromptu decision this morning. Redo yesterday's information because I know a lot of you didn't get it. So live right now, I'm gonna send this video out. Also after this live session, but I'm gonna just get on Seesaw here real quick and send a message to all the parents to let them know we're going live. So just bear with me here, and we'll give everybody maybe a minute or two to hop on. So it's Saturday morning. We've got a little less than 48 hours before school on Monday. I just can't tell you how excited that makes me to be back to somewhat of some normalcy, at least with kids in the building and staff in the building, and do what we've been trained to do and teach kids. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm actually looking at another screen right now, getting on Seesaw. So just bear with me here. They've got this new tool on Seesaw here where I can just send out an announcement to all the students. So we're just going to do that real quick. That way everybody can hop on and watch if they want to. I'm just saying, going live on YouTube now. We'll post the video later also. We'll send that out. Okay, here we go. So if you did catch most of it yesterday, it's going to be just a repeat of all the information from yesterday. So if it might be a little redundant, but I just want to make sure everybody gets information. So 7:55 Monday morning, kids can start showing up. Unless they're coming in for school breakfast, they can come at 7:45. But we're gonna go over all of those details. First off, just want to, I got to show off my Broadwater swag here a little bit. So I've got the nice Broadwater Panthers ball cap. I'm in my Saturday attire today since it is Saturday. Sporting one of my Broadwater masks here. Get it going right there. So it's got a logo all over it. That's pretty cool. And then I've got this awesome Stronger Together Broadwater Elementary t-shirt today too. I got that off of our school spirit vendor, and I'll share that link out again too. I know a lot of you have been on there and been ordering some stuff. So got the Broadwater backdrop behind me. So we got that going on. Hat was on, so the hair's a little messy. Sorry about that, but it is Saturday, so you can't judge me on a Saturday. That's the school rule. All right, so let's get to it. So let's talk about arriving on Monday. So again, only kids that are eating school breakfast can come starting at 7:45. All other kids that are not eating school breakfast cannot come until 7:55. We just don't have the staff to supervise them. We, especially important this year with trying to space kids out as much as we can. I just don't want kids congregating outside the door, starting horsing around, playing around, getting closer to each other. There's just an unnecessary risk there. So kids can start coming at 7:55. So the window for arrival is 7:55 to 8:10. Our official start time is 8:10. Our tardy bell actually rings at 8:15. So on Monday, we're gonna try something a little different this year, actually, at least to start the year, and we'll see how it goes. But I think it'll really help us keep everybody spread out, coming to school and coming in the building. So we'll start with kindergarten. So kindergarten parents, on your way to school on Monday. Now, preferably, we want everybody to try to walk over if you live close, or park in the neighborhood and walk over, or you can actually even park at the Methodist Church across the street. They are very gracious to us in offering up their parking lot for drop off and pickup. We just ask that we don't use up the parking spots right next to their building. We want to reserve those for some of the folks over there. Some of them are a little bit of the older generation, and walking through the parking lot is a little bit more challenging for them. So we just want to reserve those close spots for them. So if you can walk over or park and walk over, that is ideal. If you need to do a kind of a drop and go with your kiddos, we have a setup for that as well. So kindergarten parents, best case scenario to do a drop off would be to come down Wyoming, head east down Wyoming. So go up to 5th and get on Wyoming there, head east towards the school, and then come around onto 4th Street West, and then park in the first couple of spots in the bus lane. Unless there's a bus there or a bus approaching, that whole lane there in front of the school is supposed to be for buses only. But I've kind of bent the rules on that the past few years, especially before school, because it's usually a quick drop off. Now, after school this year, we are not letting anybody park in that bus zone. So please make sure you respect that rule. But before school, kindergarten parents park in the first couple of spots of the bus zone. We're going to have some adult helpers out there that will help get those kiddos out of the car and into the building, make sure they get there safely and get where they belong. So that's for if you're only going to do kind of a drop and go kind of thing. So parents, if you are doing the drop and go, please make sure that when you pull up, the only thing your kiddo has to do is unbuckle and climb out the door. We do prefer they climb out the door that's on the school side versus the street side. Much safer procedure there. Already packed, ready to go. Their shoes are on. You've already kind of said your goodbyes. We don't want you to pull in and park and then, get the shoes on and pack the backpack and do your kisses goodbye and then let the kiddos out. It's got to be quick. So kindergarten parents, first couple spots in that bus zone, will have people there to help you get those kiddos out. And then kindergartners are coming in the front office doors. So that's for kindergarten. First and second grade parents, we also want you to come east down Wyoming. So access Wyoming on 5th Street West there and head towards 4th. But when you get to that entrance approach to our parking lot, pull into the parking lot, head south. So you're going straight towards our playground, towards the alley. And we're going to have one of our alley gates open there as you turn through the parking lot into the alley. And we'll have adult helpers out there as well, helping all those kiddos get in. So same thing, they've got to be ready to go. So basically all you need to do is get unbuckled and climb out of the car, and we're going to bring all the first and second graders in that way, and they're going to come in the south playground door. So that's our southwest door on the south side of the building. But we'll have adults to help them get there and then get into the building. Third graders, third grade parents, same entrance to the parking lot there, except for you're not going to head towards the alley. You're actually going to come through our parking lot, and we're going to bring the third graders through our parking lot door, and we'll have staff back there. Same thing. We'll help them get out of the car and into the door. So again, make sure they're ready to go. All they should have to do is unbuckle and get out. Now, when you're coming through the parking lot, please, please, please watch for any other kiddos, for some of our staff. So some of our support staff comes in a little bit later, around 8 o'clock. So they might be coming in as well. So take it nice and easy through that parking lot. But again, please be ready to kind of do a drop and go. We don't want to get traffic hung up or be blocking traffic. So that'll be for third grade. 4th and 5th grade parents, I know a lot of our 4th and 5th graders just walk over on their own, and that's great. But if you are doing a drop and go with them, we're going to utilize the last couple spots of the bus lane. So again, it would be best if you're coming down, either coming south on 4th Street West, heading towards Broadwater, or come down Wyoming and then turn onto 4th Street West on the corner of the school there. Pull into those last couple spots in the bus zone as long as no buses are there or pulling in. And then let those kiddos out there. We'll have staff, adults there too, to help them get into their door. So 4th and 5th grade is going to come in our southeast door on the south side of the building. That's close to their classrooms. They just got to go up the stairs. So the big thing here, the big change that is really gonna, I think, be hard for everybody, especially me, and especially all of you too, is we're not going to be able to allow any parents or volunteers into our building unless you're just coming up to the office to drop off some paperwork or something like that. We're just have to limit exposure as much as we can. So no parents will be allowed in the building, including the first day, including kindergarten parents. So you're probably wondering, well, what on earth is my kindergartner going to do with all these supplies you told me to bring? So what we will do is we're going to have staff at every door, like I've talked about, and we're going to have some carts and some tubs, and we're just going to put all the supplies they can't carry into those things, and then our staff will deliver those to their classrooms after we get all the kids in. So we will make sure that all the kiddos have help to get all their supplies in. The one thing that you can do to help us out is just make sure all those supplies are labeled with your kiddo's first and last name, and their teacher's name too, if you can. That would be very helpful. And if you forget, we will have some extra labels and things that we can help label those things when those kiddos get here as well. The other option we have too is we don't need all those supplies on the very first day. So if you just want to fill their backpack on Monday with as much as you can, and then again on Tuesday, and then, you know, maybe finish it off on Wednesday, as long as we get the bulk of the supplies by Friday, we'll be in good shape. So I see a question popped up here. So if you ordered the supplies online, they are already here, and they are already in the kiddo's classroom. If you're a remote parent, you get your kiddos doing the remote learning and you order supplies, we have those here in our front office. So if you come in and, you know, check out a Chromebook or tablet, that's a good time to pick those up too. Or if you already have your Chromebook or tablet, you can just pop in our office and we can get those to you. I will be here today until 4 o'clock checking out Chromebooks and tablets to the remote kids. So if you are a remote parent and you need to pick up supplies, you can pop over today. Not right now, because I'm back here in my, I'm going to call it my studio. But after this video, I'll be available for you. Now, if you come over sometime today and you ring the doorbell and don't get a response right away, I'm just going to ask you to be patient. I'll be, you know, kind of running out through the building. I still have some stuff to get out to the classrooms and got to check on a few things, make sure we're ready to go for Monday. So if you do come over today, just please be patient with me. And we'll get you set up with what you need. So that's the arrival situation that we're going to give that a try. So again, the one thing I do want to emphasize is no kids whatsoever before 7:45. From 7:45 to 7:55, breakfast kids only. And then from 7:55 to 8:10, all other kids. One more thing you need to know about breakfast kiddos. So if they are eating school breakfast, we're actually going to bring them in our northeast door on the Wyoming side because it goes right down into our cafeteria. So that's any kiddo eating breakfast. So if you are doing a drop and go with them, if you can just pull through the parking lot and then drop them off at the very end of the parking lot on the sidewalk there. Or you could actually just go down Wyoming and drop them off right there on the corner if it's real quick. And they can just come in that door. We will have staff and signs all over the place on Monday. So if you get here and you're not quite sure, just find an adult hanging around. We do have some parent volunteers that are helping us out. So they're all going to be wearing similar bright colored t-shirts, I believe. So any of them are good people to ask, or any of our staff. So kindergartners to the classroom. Oh yes, absolutely. Yep. We're going to have lots of staff helping out our kindergartners actually for the, not just to get them into where they go, but also for the first few days in the classroom as well. So luckily for the first few days, we aren't quite up and running with a lot of our intervention programs yet. So we have a lot of extra staff there that can help out kindergarten. But yes, absolutely. We are. Yeah, we're not just going to send them on their own. I wouldn't be comfortable with that with my kiddos either. So great question. All right, so we talked about arrival and entry. Let's see here. Breakfast. So from 7:45 to 7:55, the kiddos are coming in the cafeteria, and we're going to we'll have them eat in the cafeteria during that time. We'll space them out as much as we can down there. And then at 7:55, kiddos can start going to their classrooms. Now, if we do get maxed out in our cafeteria, we'll be sitting every other spot at those tables. We'll have all the kids facing the same direction so they're not eating at each other. If we do end up filling that up, then we'll have a staff member bring any of the kiddos who don't have a seat up to the gym area, and we'll let them meet up there until 7:55. That's only a 10-minute window, so I'm not anticipating that we'll be at capacity down there. But we do have a backup plan just in case. All right, water bottles. So this year, water bottles are going to be more important than ever. As you know, face coverings are going to be required. And so one thing I've really noticed while wearing my mask in the building the past few weeks is I don't drink out of my water bottle as much. So we're really going to be keeping a close eye on hydration and really encouraging kids and staff to be making sure to take water breaks. But the other thing with the water is we are covering up all of our drinking spouts so that we don't have any transmission taking place there. So they will need a water bottle to drink from. So our PTA has been generous enough to spend some money on buying every kid a water bottle. They won't quite be here yet though, tomorrow or Monday. So every kiddo on Monday will need a water bottle. Now we do really encourage you to find a water bottle that they can easily open. So like thinking like my Hydro Flask style with the twist lid, that's sometimes hard for me to open. And I know kids really struggle with that. So we would prefer if they had, like the sports top with the pull tab, or something they can open and there's a straw, something easy for them to open. So might want to practice with that a little bit this weekend to make sure they have a water bottle that they can easily open. And then kind of on that same note, let's talk about lunch. So if you're sending your kiddo with a lunch from home, please make sure all the items in that lunch can be easily opened as well. So in the past, the things I've noticed that kids really struggled to open on their own are, getting the straws in the Capri Suns or the juice boxes. The little plastic fruit cups are really hard to open. And we love to help kids get those things open for them. But what concerns me is we have about one, sometimes two people that supervise our lunches. So you have one person going around trying to open all these things that are going into kids' mouths. So, of course, we're going to do our best to make sure we're using good hand hygiene practices in between each of those kiddos. But we also have a very limited amount of time for lunch. So please help us out by just sending them with some things they can easily open. All right, let's see here. Let's finish up the conversation about lunch. So lunch will be quite a bit different this year, especially to start. We will not be eating in the cafeteria, except for maybe with the exception of kindergarten. Reason being is we want to make sure that in between every group of kids, we have ample time to go in there and disinfect and sanitize very thoroughly. So most of our classes will be eating out on our south lawn. So anytime it's nice out, like today, looking at the forecast this next week, looks like we're going to be in pretty good shape. So we'll be eating out on the south lawn as opposed to eating in our classrooms. So if the weather is bad, and especially once winter hits, we will be eating in the classrooms. So when we're eating in the classrooms, because the kids will have their masks off and they're eating, we'll have kids spaced out as much as possible. We'll have them facing, all kind of the same direction as much as possible. Again, so they're not eating at each other. But eating outside is going to be our best practice, I think, for lunch this year, as we know that when kiddos or people in general are outside, that the transmission rates of COVID-19 drops pretty significantly. So outside will be the safest place to do that. As far as school lunch goes, typically in the past, kiddos have had up to 4 options. they've had a salad option and usually like a sandwich option, and then a couple of hot entrees to choose from. This year, we will only be offering two choices. So they're either going to have a hot entree choice, or some kind of cold choice. So they're calling it a cold choice. Typically, it'd probably be some type of sandwich, something like that. So I did send out an email to all the parents last night, and I did attach the lunch menu for August and September on there. So you can take a look at that. So the one thing we're going to need your help with is going over that lunch menu with your kiddos if they're eating school lunch. Sometimes we have entrees that kids aren't familiar with or they haven't had before. So if you see items that might be unfamiliar to them, just kind of make sure they have an understanding of what that is, type of pasta, or is it, some kind of Mexican food, or, something to that degree. Those kiddos, first thing in the morning, are going to have to tell their teacher if they're going to have that hot option or that cold option that day. And the teachers are going to, keep track of all those choices and send them down to our cafeteria to make sure that we have the correct choice for all the kids. So they have to make that commitment and then stick with that commitment when lunch comes. So a lot of times, especially with our younger kids, if they make a commitment at 8:30, a lot of times they may change their mind by 11 o'clock when they eat lunch. So just please be very thorough with explaining to your kids that whatever they choose in the morning is what they will be getting for lunch. So our Sodexo staff, I'm really appreciative of them. They're going to bring those lunches right up to the classroom, and we're going to have a couple different tubs by each classroom, and they'll just put the hot lunches and the cold lunches in those tubs, and then our other staff will make sure that each kiddo gets the lunch that they asked for. So we'll be eating lunch and then going outside for recess. We'll also be making sure that all kids are washing their hands before lunch, as well as after. So that's lunch. I touched on face coverings just a little bit. I just want to reemphasize face coverings are required. It does have to be some type of covering that covers the nose and the mouth. So, your traditional masks are great. You can either get the cloth reusable ones, or you can get, the disposable ones. We do ask that if you're getting the reusable ones, that those get washed every night. So it'd be ideal if you could get 5. That way every week, different mask every day, and then maybe you throw them all in the wash every night, or you throw them in the wash on the weekend, or however you want to do that. If you do not have a mask or face covering, we will have some here that we can provide the kiddos. I was also able to work with our PTA and some other sources we'll be providing every kid with one mask with a Broadwater Panther logo on it. But those won't be here till about midweek as well. So we've got that coming. Very grateful for that. All right, let's talk about dismissal. So just like arrival, dismissal is going to be a little bit different this year as well. So I did mention earlier that nobody will be allowed to park in the bus zone at dismissal, except for buses and daycares and after-school programs that I have approved. So you will have to park somewhere and walk over for the littles. And so especially with our kindergarten, first, even second graders, we do ask that the parents walk over and make some kind of contact with the teacher, a wave, at least eye contact, something so that our teachers know that our kiddos are getting where they need to go after school. A lot of our older kids walk home, or, walk to wherever their parents are parked, and we're okay with that with the older kids. But do make sure that the teachers know what the plan is. We ask that the kids know what the plan is every day before the day starts. In the past, especially with some of our older kids, they, requested at the very end of the day to call their parents and see if they can walk home with Johnny, or go over to Susie's house, or and we try to limit that. So if you do have a change in after school plans, give us a call in the office and just let us know. It's also helpful if you can shoot the teacher an email or a seesaw message so they know. We will do our best to communicate the message with the teacher. And the earlier in the day we get it, the better job we can do at that. Um, but if we're getting close to, an hour within dismissal time, things get kind of busy and we can't always get those messages relayed. So the earlier we get those, the better. So dismissal. So as often as we can, we're going to have kiddos using the same door that they come in. So kindergartners, kindergarten is just an exception for a lot of things. So they are actually going to come out our our southeast door out onto the south lawn there. Just because there's so many of them and getting them, out the front door and down the sidewalk and then back onto the lawn can be a little bit confusing for them. So we'll come out the southeast door and they'll kind of gather on the lawn over there. First and second grade, they're going to come right back out that southwest door over by the playground and they'll spread out probably over on the grassy area and the blacktop area over there. Third grade will come out the back parking lot door, but they're going to come right back onto the basketball court area there. Fourth and fifth grade, they get out a little bit later, so they will also use the southeast door and come out onto the lawn area there. So that will give you an idea on where to find your kiddos. We ask that you don't use the parking lot at dismissal time because we have a nursing team that we share with several other schools. So if our nurse is currently at Broadwater and an emergency pops up at another school at that time, they need to be able to get out of here quickly and get to those other places quickly. Or if it's primary dismissal time and we're having something go on with a fourth or fifth grader and the nurse is on their way, we need those nurses to be able to park quickly and get in and assist us with that. So please avoid using the parking lot at dismissal. It's really best if you park and walk over. That is the ideal preferred method at dismissal time. Okay, let's talk about what happens when kiddos show symptoms of illness. So we are going to be very tight and very strict this year on kiddos not being at school if they are showing any kind of illness. So if they are at school and they have a cough, now we know kids, people, they're going to have to cough from time to time. So if they just have, one cough because their throat's dry or, something like that, or it's dusty outside, whatever it may be, that's not the kind of cough we're talking about. We're talking about, more of a repetitive cough. Those kiddos are going to have to go home. A runny nose. Kiddos with a runny nose will be going home. Vomiting, diarrhea. Those kiddos will be going home. A fever. Kiddos will have to go home for sure. So we are asking you as parents to screen your kiddos every morning before they come to school. Check their temperature. If their temperature is elevated, please keep them home. If they have a cough, runny nose, sore throat, any complaints of a headache, stomach ache, vomiting, diarrhea, any of that stuff, please keep them home. We're just really going to play it safe. Now, because of all this, I imagine that it will help us prevent all other illnesses as well, like the common cold, flu, all those other things too. So there's a little bit of an added benefit there. Now, we also suggest you get on PowerSchool and double check your contacts, make sure all the numbers are accurate. We also ask that there's 2 or 3 people that we can call. So if we try to call you and for some reason we can't get through to you, then we'll move down the list and call whoever's next on that list until we can get through to somebody. We do have a couple of areas set up by our office. So if a kiddo does come down with some illness, symptoms, we have a spot for them. But if we start getting, 2 or 3 kids and parents aren't coming to pick up, then they're going to end up in the room together. So please be very cognizant about and very responsive about coming to pick up your kiddos if we call. If they do have symptoms, they will need to stay home until 24 hours after those symptoms have gone away. So please keep a very close eye on that too. And those symptoms need to be gone for 24 hours without any assistance from any kind of medication. So the fever reducers or, those kinds of things has to be 24 hours after the effect of all those has worn off. All right. Staff. I need to talk about staff a little bit here. So we had about 70 kids sign up for the remote platform, which is, I'm glad that's available for them. But that also takes 70 kids out of our building. So as you know, our staffing is all based on our enrollment of number of kids. And so when we staff for teachers, that's actually done at the district level. And so it's district wide. So when we do that, if there is a classroom at another school with higher numbers or, significantly higher numbers, or sometimes they need to add a classroom elsewhere, and we have small numbers, then teachers will get transferred from school to school because of that. So we did end up losing 3 of our classes in the past week. So Mr. Steyer was going to teach 5th grade for us. He actually ended up getting transferred to the remote school. Mr. Jetmore, he got transferred to another school this week as well. We ended up losing Mrs. Roney out of kindergarten. She got transferred to another school, so we will have 2 kindergarten rooms. And then Mr. Rogers was a new hire this year. He did some subbing for us last year, but he was slated to come into 2nd grade this year. And then he actually got transferred because we lost a 1st grade down to 2 1st grades. So Mrs. Kuba actually looped up and went to 2nd grade. So we've got 2 1st grades and then 3 2nd grades. So I just want everybody to be aware. So when you're checking class lists or you're checking for your teacher and you're like, I thought for sure we'd give Mr. Steyer this year and you don't see him on there, that's why. So I just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. All right. I think that pretty much sums up everything that we'll need to know for the first day. Of course, we'll be sending some information with your kiddos on the first day as well. But the big thing is going to be arrival, making sure we can get all their kids where they belong. And then again, dismissal, making sure all the kids get home safely. So as always, if you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you so much for trusting us and sharing your children with us. We love them all and we can't wait to see them on Monday. So have a great day. And I look forward to talking to all of you and seeing all of you very soon.